Caroline, what's the kind of timeline you're looking at for either a resolution or, I guess, an escalation in this trade war?
So I think, as Sonia was saying, that there are different elements. So it started as a trade discussion around the trade deficit that the US has, and it's now become intertwined with IP rights and technology rights, and that is a much longer story, I think, that needs to play out. So I think that's also why we're seeing this sort of extension, if you like, in time period of the trade kind of discussions. I think it's unlikely that much will get resolved in the near term. Obviously, we'll see what happens in September and then again in December. And clearly, delegations are in China sort of currently, trying to sort of negotiate some things. But we've got, over the next sort of 12 months is the period that we can kind of sort of forecast. And so we're saying that we think that it's probably going to stay as it is, but there is a higher risk of escalation now than there was.
Are the havens changing? Euro used to be a funding currency. I guess, Japanese yen is still there. We go into gold. There's the Swiss franc. But is it going to change over the next 2 to 3 years because the geopolitics is shifting?
I think it's a very good question, actually. It will depend how things play out. What is quite interesting is over the last sort of few weeks of volatile markets, there was a question of, will the US be as defensive as it is normally in a market sell-off, given it's one of the originators of the issues? And the answer was yes, it was as defensive. It did outperform the more cyclical markets, even though it's at the center of the trade disputes. So, I think we're not going to kind of have a complete shift of what's safe, but it may tweak a bit at the edges.